So Spider-Man has had a list of voice actors, but there's always been one that, for me personally, has always embodied Spider-Man as a character. I grew up with him in the early 2000s, and every time I read a comic, I hear his voice while I'm reading. And that is Christopher Daniel Barnes from Spider-Man the Animated Series. Now, Josh Keaton is a very close second, and same with Yuri Lowenthal. And before people say, "Oh, well, you only like him because that the memes, like, oh, shocker," that is not the case. Every time I hear Christopher Daniel Barnes, he reminds me of a simpler time with Spider-Man in terms of Spider-Man being in college, Spider-Man kind of being more grown up, Spider-Man being a young adult, being a superhero, and just Christopher Daniel Barnes interprets that version of Spider-Man so well. And every time I read a comic, if it's an older, slightly kind of middle-aged Peter Parker, maybe he's kind of early college life, yeah, I hear Christopher Daniel Barnes all the time, bro. I grew up with Spider-Man the Animated Series. My dad had purchased those on DVD. Now, I didn't have the entire series, but I had the most important sagas. Him taking on Dr. Octopus. I had the Venom saga. Trust me, I rewatched that shit like all the time. Had like one of my favorite arcs in Spider-Man the Animated Series, the Green Goblin arc. That arc is absolutely fucking peak. For me personally, Christopher Daniel Barnes just interprets Spider-Man for me in general. It doesn't matter, even if it's a young Spider-Man, I still hear Christopher Daniel Barnes voicing that character. He is my Spider-Man. And like I said, nothing against Josh Keaton and Yuri, but those guys, like, it's I didn't necessarily grow up with them. Like, yeah, I grew up watching Spectacular Spider-Man, but for me, I always chose Spider-Man the Animated Series over Spectacular Spider-Man. Because for me personally, Spider-Man the Animated Series was always the better series. For me personally. Now, I'm not sitting here saying that Spectacular Spider-Man's ass. No, they're one of the greatest Spider-Man animated cartoons of all time. But for me personally, Spider-Man the Animated Series does a lot better than Spectacular Spider-Man.